Inevitably, with these changes that are coming into play, new risks will appear. How can risks be mitigated under the new sort of working normal?
I think risk can be mitigated by having good governance, good communication, and good policies. But I think there's going to be very practical issues coming out of this. There's going to be very practical issues about people's concerns about coming back to work and social interaction. And that will be all linked into, is there going to be a second wave? Is there going to be a third wave? And it's going to be particularly exacerbated if you are responsible for looking after vulnerable people, or you have grandparents, or you have family members who are in those high-risk groups. So that's a very practical issue that people have got to come to terms with as that lockdown starts to release and people start to come back to work. Now, of course, there are some industries, if you're in manufacturing, you've absolutely got to be there. You can't be on a line doing things from your home. So, of course, those companies have already, a lot of them have been working and they've got their strategies in place to mitigate that risk. But that's going to be ongoing for some considerable time. But where we're looking at predominantly office-based employees, I think we can wrap some great safety nets around that by bringing bubbles together, bringing small teams together, rotating teams in, maybe coming in 2 to 3 days a week, making sure we keep those social distancing. So there's some very practical things we can do about mitigating this risk about people's concerns. And also you as an employer, your responsibility to make sure you're doing absolutely everything you can to make sure you're playing your part as we start to come up for air, as it were, out of this current situation. In terms of other practical situations, a lot of that is going to be tied up with how the government also deal with this lockdown in terms of funding, and how they either keep the furlough scheme going and reducing, how they keep that small business funding going. That is obviously tremendously crucial for keeping that business space here in the UK so that they can start to manage their risks. And as the lockdown eases, they can also start to come back. I think the biggest risk, and I keep on saying this because I feel passionate about it though, is that businesses have got to look at their business models and make sure that they're fit for purpose for the new norm. They've got to be agile. It's a word we all love. We all love to say we're agile businesses, but agile can be quite difficult. So people really have got to make sure that they stay very agile in their businesses and attuned to how the market is changing, so that they're constantly mitigating against the risk and that they're going for the great opportunities that we don't even know are there yet.